Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube, baby. How the hell are you guys doing? This is kind of going to be a very impromptu. It's going to be somewhat of a quicker podcast. I wasn't originally planning on doing any sort of video today. Yesterday was tricky. I've been traveling this week, so I'm not sure if you guys caught my Twitter or my YouTube page. I'm not sure which one. I uploaded a picture too, but it was sick. Excuse me. I ended up staying at this little, I shouldn't say little, but this pretty sweet hotel. Cost me an arm and a leg, damn near, but it was worth it. I've definitely stayed at this place before, but this is right on Lake Superior, and you guys can see like it looks like there's hills and mountains off in the distance, but this is all open water. And believe it or not, like off to the side here, I couldn't really take a good picture of it, but there were people out there like ice fishing, stuff like that. So we've got that going for us. Now let me just look at some of the comments. Okay, we got Strika, the heavy hitter, in the house. What's happening, buddy? Glad to see you here. If you guys could all just smash that like button, hit that notification bell. Guys, man, like, even if you don't hit that notification bell, just a thumbs up just says, hey, I'm here, I see you. Okay, Chris, welcome. We'll get into CKB and ETC. Okay, we will discuss many others. Donnie, what's up? Bitcoin Renegade, what's up, brother? I'm gonna have him on my show here for a live stream, so check him out. Great stuff, but I'll try to get him on maybe in the next week. He's got a killer YouTube channel, especially if you're into internet computer protocol. Sounded like a big elephant fart. Okay, so when I fired up the live stream, I had to move a chair that's kind of in the background to get to my adult beverage. So I think that's what it was. Packable. We'll look up BTT for you in a second. And then we got a bunch. We've got the King Crimson. Thanks, guys. And yeah, we will do remind me later on, and we'll do ORN. Remind me later on, and we'll get into everything. So, Crypto Airborne, I tried to call his butt to see if he wanted to come on the show, but no bueno. So I think I'm just going to do this one solo tonight. But let's get right into it. So the markets have been really, really messed up as of lately. And one thing I wanted to just cover with you guys straight up with you is the total crypto market cap and the potential for this thing to move to 3 trillion, or in my opinion, down to maybe even this 1 trillion-ish level. And we're going to get into this in a second. So right now, the total crypto market cap is squeezing. There's no questions about this absolutely whatsoever. And we do have this symmetrical triangle squeeze off a very nasty little bear leg. One thing we've got going for us, though, with this whole setup on the total crypto market cap, and this is kind of what is giving me a little bit of faith right now, is that we are trading in a pretty nice channel upwards to boot. And so you guys can see that if we really hold this line, which we've been holding pretty much for I don't know. I would comfortably say since June of 21. I mean, it's not the longest of time, but I mean, that's 9 months. That's nothing to scoff at. But right now, we can see that the market is shaping up for a dramatic reversal. There's no way around this. And I shouldn't say reversal. I should say accelerated volatility is what I do mean. So I'm looking at the total crypto market cap right now, and I am seeing this squeeze happen. And then on top of that, I am seeing this Ichimoku cloud in the perfect position. I'm all tongue twisted tonight, guys. So we are seeing this Ichimoku cloud in this perfect position for price action to really kind of jump up on top of it. The thinner the cloud, the easier it is for price action to move on top of the cloud. And once that happens, we really want to see some sort of bullish setup, some sort of bull flag, ascending triangle. You guys get the drift. But for now, this is my thoughts here. We had a very nasty death cross that occurred, and the price. I mean, we basically wiped 500-600 trillion, or I should say 100 trillion, 100 billion, 5 or 600 billion. My bad. I wish the crypto market cap was in the hundreds of trillions, but we basically got rid of $500 million. Now it's time to play again. Typically, when we start to see this 50 moving average really start to creep and start to barely plane out, we will see price action react with quite some force to the upside. So I am thinking that at this point in time, the crypto markets might be gearing up for some sort of move to at least this 2.2-ish trillion dollar market cap. So we're looking at about 400 to 500 billion dollars to be pumped into the crypto market. And that is, of course, if we can hold this line. But if we fail, this has every opportunity to get really, really nasty. Specifically because at this point in time, we do have a head and shoulders pattern on the total crypto market cap. There's no ifs, ands about this. We could even make this argument that things could be gearing up for a downward leg, and that's usually what you'll see when we get these symmetrical triangles, things like that, bear flags, bear pennants off these nasty little sheds here. So that's something to be mindful of. But we do have a recent double bottom, off this trend line here. So we do have some strong support at these levels. You can see, like, back last June, July, we had a double bottom here. So let's just give this thing a big if. The market turns around, like something crazy happens. The market all of a sudden decides that, hey, it's going to get a little bit bullish. Let's go ahead and now, of course, I've forgotten where half my tools are in this toolbar because I just haven't been able to upload a whole lot lately. So let's just say, for shits and giggles, that things bounce. We could see a $3.5 trillion crypto market, in my opinion, as soon as mid-June, July, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, I mean, I think people are starting to really get comfortable, and this is probably a really bad thing to say, but they're starting to get comfortable with this whole war thing with Russia. The sanctions are doing what they're doing against Russia. Russia seems to really lack that manpower and firepower to invade a country the size of Ukraine. So if we get the bounce here, I certainly think that we're going to come back up and retest this 50 moving average, kind of like what we did back here. And if we pass go, okay, then we can start making our way up to these higher levels. Now, let's just go ahead and we'll look at Bitcoin next, and then we'll kind of jump into everything. So bear with me 1 second here. And so with Bitcoin, folks, on the daily chart, if you guys have been following my Twitter handle, I've been talking about how Bitcoin has kind of been forming this little ascending triangle here. Not perfectly to a T, but we are seeing a trend of these lows getting higher, which is a good thing. And we are seeing a trend of these lows coming back up to this $45,000-ish level. So Bitcoin right now is squeezing. There's no doubt about that. And I think we're going to see Bitcoin really kind of squeeze right into this 13th, 14th date range on the daily chart, folks. Like, this is something that you guys should be super happy about on the daily. We have an opportunity for price action, just exactly like I was saying with the entire total crypto market cap. When price action gets on top of these Ichimoku clouds, that's a very bullish thing. And look at how thin this cloud is. Bitcoin has an excellent opportunity here to really bounce up and over. I want a retest of this $48,500, $600-ish level. That's a 200 moving average on the daily. So for now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, like I just bought Bitcoin today. I don't typically buy Bitcoin, but I bought a little bit of Bitcoin. So we have that going on right now for Bitcoin. And it is what it is, right? So now I think I'm going to go ahead and look at this comment section. So I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful. This is going to be like the easiest. This is like stealing candy from a baby type of setup here. As far as the Ichimoku cloud and the price action is concerned. I'm parched, so bear with me 1 second. Okay. So, excuse me. I'm just looking through some of these comments here. Strika hopes everyone's keeping well. That a boy. Have I heard of the Avalanche Multiverse? I have not. I like Avalanche, but it's a little too centralized at the moment. Yeah, so let's go ahead and really crack open a few other ones. Let's just start off with. Well, let's just take a quick peek at Bitcoin market cap dominance while we're here. So we can see that Bitcoin market cap dominance on the daily. We just completed a golden cross, which is sometimes a good bullish sign, especially if we can really hang above the 50 moving average, things like that. That is usually an indication that things are gearing up for a little run, kind of like right back in here. So we can kind of see that. But with that said, there's really not much to say other than the fact that we have broken out of this little downward spiral that we've been in for quite some time, since December of 2020. Believe it or not. So we are seeing Bitcoin dominance really kind of start to bounce back, which is good. Excuse me, Ethereum. Ethereum is in a nice symmetrical triangle squeeze. Again, we're going to be seeing a lot of these similar patterns playing out through the markets. just because everything kind of moves off the same axis, I don't necessarily think that uh, other coins follow Bitcoin as much as people think. I just kind of think like they're all kind of moving to that same rhythm, like ocean waves, for example. Um, the ocean waves in Hawaii don't care about what the ocean waves in India are doing, for example. They're just all kind of doing the same thing. So Ethereum, I think that Ethereum, we might see Ethereum bounce maybe up to this 2880-ish range. Now, I did throw down a little time sequence here. I just want to see how this other stuff has panned out. So keep your eye, if you guys are into Ethereum, keep your eye on June 13th for Ethereum for a potential pivot point or reversal. Looks like we've got Marcos in the house, Crypto Airborne in the house. Can I check Rash for Airborne and Strika? Man. Yeah, I absolutely can. Absolutely. They are Rash Cream #1. I mean, I'm telling you guys, if you guys ever have any rashes or anything, look those two guys up. So, but yeah, Ethereum, if we break out of this squeeze here, Ethereum's going up to 3,500. No questions about that. If it breaks down, we could see this maybe come back and test this 2440-ish level, or even this $1,837 dollar range level. So, whoops. CKB. CKB is going to possibly, man, this is my first time looking at any charts really for at least sitting down and really doing some in-depth analysis. So it's been a minute. But CKB, same old story as everything else on the daily. We're just going to kind of go over the daily charts, but you can see that right now CKB was in this little symmetrical triangle squeeze, and now people are selling this off again. So let's just look at this for a second here. And I'm willing to bet that this thing's tangling with the 786 right now. Okay. If I would have bet, I would have lost. So right now, you can see that CKB is really kind of testing these levels that it experienced in May 21, June of 22, September of 21. Let's see here. And really, if this does fall out from this price tag, we will see possibly in the neighborhood of a 007, 0.007, 0.008 CKB, quite possibly. But I'm really thinking that this is getting ready to pull some sort of a reversal here. The price relation to this cloud just seems like it's a bit far off. So I think at the most, we very well could be seeing this gear up soon for some sort of pivot. Now, we could possibly have an important date for CKB around April 8th. So just mark that in your calendars on your phones right now. Check CKB, April 8th. Set an alarm on the 7th. And sometimes we are not able to really determine if there was a reversal for several days or maybe even a week, blah, blah, blah. We just need data to look at in hindsight. But I am thinking there could be a significant, event happening on or around April 8th for CKB. Now, CKB really has me really kind of flustered because, really we've got this very nice corrective wave that has occurred since November of 2021. I don't think there's any tougher. Maybe the VGX crew. There's not really another tougher crypto community than the CKB VGX people. It seems like, at least for CKB, every good little ounce of momentum that they had going just gets crushed by Bitcoin. It just seems like it is what it is, right? But for now, I want to just peek at this on the weekly. We still don't have that 200 moving average. Damn. So we may not have that for a while either. Well, we should have something soon. Well, anyways, price action on the weekly for CKB, you guys can see it's just kind of far away from this Ichimoku cloud up here. I'm just thinking, the week of March 28th, April 8th, somewhere in there, it could be significant for CKB. So, within the next 28 to 30 days for CKB, we may in fact see a nice bounce, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get something like this, a nice staircase climb. If that does happen, and if CKB kind of comes back up and retest these 3.5 cent ish levels, there is going to be some significant, really some significant ascending triangles to possibly even consider. I mean, you guys could kind of see this argument where we just, we might be able to argue that these lows, in fact, are truly starting to get higher and higher, and we might just fill out this ascending triangle or this launch pad. Our turn might not come till later this fall, which is a good thing because gives you time to accumulate, especially at these lower prices. So I think we're going to hang it up on CKB. Let's look at one more. Let's look at a bunch more. Anybody in here holding Dogecoin? Let me know in the comments. Looks like we've got some other stuff here. Darius. Jan Z also thinks we're close to a Bitcoin bridge. I mean, that's crazy. Yes, there was a recent interview with Jan Z. I haven't gotten to look at that. Be interested to hear if anyone else in the comments section has had the chance to watch that interview. Here's Ergo. I think Ergo has got some great potential ahead of it. It really is a decent cryptocurrency, to say the least. This thing has been getting absolutely clobbered, absolutely just wrecked. I mean, it's just any Fibonacci levels that I could place on here. Ergo has just crushed through and broke. So with that said, I do think that Ergo has a chance here at possibly really returning to these $17, $20 levels during the next bull run. They are kind of a newer ecosystem. I mean, $3 a coin isn't bad. Looks like this thing wicked down to $2.50, which is not bad. So I mean, I hold Ergo. I did some promotional work for Ergo Pad, so I'm not sure if they have their native token out, but they are a launch pad on Ergo, so maybe check that out. We're not going to really spend too much time on Ergo here because this thing's really squeezing up against this 50 moving average, and we've got double tops on it. So this thing's really priming to possibly take off. This could easily 2x, in my opinion, within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, this is Ergo. eGold is another good one. I'm waiting to buy that back. I'm waiting to buy that at like $20 though. Just kidding. I don't know that we'll ever see a $20 eGold again, but we'll check it out. What's up, Juan? Thanks for joining us tonight, man. All right. So let's move on to Komodo. We won't touch that one. SiaCoin, you guys, I hold SiaCoin right now. I still do think that it's a decent project. I know that they've got some stuff going on with what is it, Skynet? I think that's what it's called. But yeah, it is what it is. So let's look at this here. So right now, man, this latest crushing we've all experienced here in the markets has really been pretty bad. Thrown off all my fib. So what we can see happen here was we had a very nasty death cross occur with SiaCoin. I mean, this thing may be bouncing back to the penny and a half level here soon, in my own opinion. Not financial advice, but this thing is squeezing right now, and the fact that um, we're squeezing up against this 50. I mean, there might be a chance that if this thing does take off, we see 0.012 up to 0.015. But if this thing breaks down, yeah, we're going to wick back down to this 007. It's not going to be good. Possibly even the 004. I do have a small amount of SiaCoin that I did mine. Let's see here. Why don't you tell us about the huge news for eGold today in the comments, Airborne? So here is Voyager token. This is something that I've been kind of calling some shots at or on the last few weeks. Been doing fairly decent on it. I still do think that there is this chance that we might see Voyager token start ripping. We do have a Fibonacci time sequence that is occurring here either right now or within the next day. So I do think that there could be some sort of a pivotal point for Voyager token. We finally have our 200 moving average on the charts here. So a lot of times when we start to see, like I was saying before, with with the total crypto market cap, I believe, when we see these 50 moving averages kind of start to just give a hint that they are gearing up to maybe start flattening out. A lot of times we will see price action just rush right up past the 50 moving average and maybe even test this 200 moving average. So if this does happen, there is a weaker spot in this Ichimoku cloud for Voyager token to really come up and maybe nail on this $2.50 ish level. So I've been stacking Voyager token like a madman the last couple weeks. I'm not holding nearly as much as a lot of the heroes, but I do hold. Is it the smallest tier? Is that, what do they call that? Somebody in the comments let me know. Is that, it's not a navigator? It's a, I don't even know. I don't pay attention. But just know that with Voyager token, I do think that there is some possibilities, of a little turnaround here. Like I was saying, I do think that anywhere between this $2.32 range to this $2.50-ish range is not off the books right now for Voyager. And if we can get that really get that pump above and through this Ichimoku cloud, that's going to be huge to set up on some sort of bullish pattern from there. I could even argue the fact that this thing might be setting up for some sort of mega inverse head and shoulders, something like that. The Explorer, that's what I am. Thank you, Marcos. So I think everybody should become an Explorer for VGX. Looks like Chris says, I bought up a bunch of ETH Classic, still adding to my CKB bag. Close to $1 million. Congratulations, dude. That's freaking awesome, man. That's freaking awesome. We've got a request in for StormX next. There's really not much else to say here with Voyager token. It's squeezing just like everything else is. But for right now, there is possibly a time sequence that is going on right now. So let's take a peek at StormX. Looks like there's some interest in that here. So here is StormX. Man, the last time it's been a little bit since I've really kind of touched base on StormX. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of remove all of this. StormX is still sitting incredibly well compared to 2020, 2021. It's holding its ground. I just can't believe StormX is at 0.0138ish cents. They've got a lot going for them, and it is what it is. So right now, I mean, hey, if the market picks up and turns around, look what we've got going here for StormX. Quite possibly, maybe a big ass cup and handle or something like that. We kind of almost had that back in uh, September, excuse me, but we just couldn't close that handle portion off. So, right now, let's just throw up a little Fibonacci time sequence and just kind of toy around with this a little bit. So if you are into StormX, look at this April 30th date somewhere in there for some sort of volatility change or reversal, whatever. StormX, just like everything else, is squeezing, and we're seeing this same pattern really kind of shake out in the market right now. The symmetrical triangle squeeze that basically has the market in its grips right now. And when we see these symmetrical triangles squeezes, it's just a sideways squeeze. If sentiment changes for the better, we'll start to go back up again. This is what it is. So StormX, in my opinion, let's just get a bead on this quick to see if we have any time sequence showing up. Okay. So look for StormX to pull some stuff, maybe break out of this symmetrical triangle. I'd say anywhere around March 13th to March 14th. There's not much time left in this squeeze. So with that said, we'll move on to the next one. Actually, let's just, I want to touch on StormX again. If this thing falls, I mean, we're looking at 0.011 back to the penny levels. But if this thing takes off again, I think that it'll come back up and retest this 2.5 cent level. It's triple topping the 50 moving average. There's a lot of support here, and there's a lot of momentum trying to break through this 50 moving average. So we could be looking at a 2x for StormX here in the next, coming days. Thank you, Donnie. Adventure 500 tokens. Is the correct. So Marcos jamming me up, man. Can't believe that. Do I think that tokens like Sand, Mana, and AXS will survive with them heading into bearish trends last week? I think that Metaverse tokens are a decent thing to take a chance on. Really, the closest I can come to experiencing the metaverse, or I think the closest that right now that anybody can come to actually experiencing a full body a full in-body experience is virtual reality for the moment. It's really all we've got that's at a halfway decent level. It's all centralized still, Facebook, Meta. But I do think that these, like Sand and Mana, do have a place in crypto. Whether or not they can build as fast as everybody wants them to is going to be another thing. So if the metaverse really takes off, they are going to need to hire so many people. They're going to need to have so many people, so many developers developing on their platforms. It's going to be crazy. I know I've been talking to Marcos about learning Python and stuff like that. I'm telling you guys, it wouldn't be a bad thing to start learning a little bit of coding when it comes to this stuff. But NFTs, those most certainly will have a place within the metaverse, whether it's art, whatever. Um, I'm down for a Sims game in a VR chat style, a game where everything in the world is an NFT. Yeah, dude. If you've got Oculus, or if you can get to an Oculus, they have almost real world Sims games. They're virtual hangouts, things like that. It's crazy. There's like all sorts of stuff you can touch. You can throw pillows. You can, whatever you want to do. Play VR poker. You know, shoot guns off at the table. It's nuts. Maybe Crypto Airborne and I will do some of that stuff. So I do have some NFTs for sale on the collect.me account. Go and support. Thank you, Marcos. I appreciate that, brother. So yeah, StormX, it's 50-50. It all depends on this March 13th, March 14th ish, somewhere in there. Date. It just seems like that date in the next 4 to 5 days is going to be relevant. Now, let's just see what we got here. Let's just look at. I thought I saw some other cryptos in the chats. Let me know in the chat if you guys want any other things reviewed. Yeah, I agree with you. It's I agree with you, King. It does get old. If you have people to play with, like it's so kick ass. But technology is lacking. I can't wait for 4K VR. It's gonna be like crazy. So ORN. Let's take a quick peek at that. All right. So last time we were looking at ORN, it was this little squeeze here that had happened, and we kind of had this Fibonacci channel drawn out. It's been a long time since I've looked at ORN since, but we can see that this thing has fallen out of the Fibonacci channel, which is very unfortunate. So that is very unfortunate for this right now. But if we just go ahead and throw up a couple of these trend lines, you could see that there might, in fact, be some sort of slow motion falling wedge happening here. I would expect maybe ORN to kind of do something like this. Possibly, in July, we might see some sort of reversal. I'm really interested in this right now. Let's just check this out. Let's just look at this a little bit closer. Now, what I'm doing is I'm looking in hindsight at some of these time sequences. I'm just not really seeing anything that I like. This could be a possibility. Look for May 20th with ORN. If you see this thing trading lower than $2.39 ish, you might be in a little bit of trouble. But, just keep your eyes on May 20th, somewhere in there, for a potential reversal or increased volatility, something like that. Bitcoin Renegade. Dominic is having okay. This is going to be awesome. So, Bitcoin Renegade has turned me on to ICP, or Dfinity, an internet computer. The more that I have been studying and watching the videos and learning about it, it's a great ecosystem for sure. And so Dominic is he's like the CEO of Internet Computer, or the founder for that matter. So this is cool that he's having a debate on Open Chat tomorrow. Okay. So that's great. Thanks. Let's just look at ICP right now. I know that this thing has been really kind of crazy. I'm not sure what was going on there. But really, with ICP, I'm really kind of seeing that there is possibly, well, let's look at this here. There is possibly this falling wedge-ish kind of thing happening. Let's just really kind of grind down these trend lines here. So bear with me 1 second here while I get this stuff set up. I mean, you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this, but ICP does seem like this thing could be gearing up for a potential reversal. Let's just look and see if we can throw up any Fibonacci retracements to really see where this thing is going to possibly go. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Just trying to figure this out here. So it does look like price action did obey this Fibonacci retracement chart that I put up pretty well. So I think that there might be a chance that ICP could be wandering down to this $11.45-ish cent level, quite possibly. But man, the angle of these trend lines, things like that, I don't think that we will get that far with ICP. Maybe a wick down. Let's just look at this a little bit more. Oh man, let's just see here. Okay, so right now ICP is really banging hard off this 127, which is a very common reversal point. So the $16-ish level, this would not be a surprise to me to see ICP really pull a reversal right now. I want to just throw up a little time sequence here in Bitcoin Renegade. If you're still listening, man, this thing was trading as high as $800 back in May of 21. Is that right? Do you know of anything like that? If that's true, I don't trust TradingView's charts for the most part. Damn, that's nuts. And I think there's only like 500 million coins or something like that for ICP. So it's a pretty low circulating supply, I believe. But with ICP, March 17th, keep your eyes open on this one, folks. This is just one of those cryptocurrencies. They've been around for a really long time. Okay, it peaked at 750. No shit. So this thing is, ICP has been around forever. And they are the top, I think they're ranked 37 or 35. They're a top 40 cryptocurrency in the grand scheme of things. To be a top 50, top 100, top 200 cryptocurrency, that kind of says a lot. That's bragging rights, in my opinion. So I do think that ICP, like I said, just off the research that I've done, I don't get any bad vibes from it. They've got a lot of developers, stuff like that working for them. And I even remember hearing Dominic or somebody within ICP mention that the only, what did they call them? I want to say cryptographers. They're probably the second largest employer of cryptographers other than the NSA, or that's what he was speculating. So I think ICP, guys, keep your eyes on this one. We got that falling wedge. We've got this 127 showing up, and price is really supporting at the $16-ish level. So it really is, in my opinion, maybe a good time to start a small position if you haven't already. So we'll look at BTT for PACA. Okay. Got BTT and the dollar. And So I remember, folks, like the last time I did a live or something, PACA shows up, something like that, and I hadn't looked at the BTT chart. I didn't know what was going on with BTT, but I saw this, and I just about cried. But they had some sort of um, what did they have? What did they have going on here, Packable? Some sort of buyback or split happen, and really, with BTT, you can see that it's been trading sideways ever since. And bear with me, I'm going to get this stuff off my chart. So with that said, this thing, when we start looking at the Ichimoku cloud, we can see that this little red conversion line is trading parallel with this baseline. And that's a good sign to see. If we see this red conversion line sprint above this baseline, this blue line, we will see price action kind of react violently and start heading upwards. So that is good. I might have to look at this on like a 4-hour chart. God dang. Trading view just so it looks like they had a 1,000. Okay. I hate seeing stuff like that. Only it could have went the other way. But really, trading views, this one's even hard to just even look at because of trading view and whatnot. So I might have to wait a little bit on BTT just for trading view to kind of straighten its act out, because this is such a, here we go. I'm going to have to turn this auto feature off here. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and clear all of this. Right now, we can see that BTT did come down to the 61.8, which is the golden ratio. And it looks like we're just kind of floating right around this 127 to the 161.8. I don't know how to pronounce these dollar amounts. These are like sheep dollar amounts. But man, look for, I don't know, the last three digits to be 169. If we see this thing come back down and retest, or 0.000000190, that's where I think that this thing's going to bounce, because it is squeezing just like all these other coins. Everything is squeezing. I do think that we are going to see some momentum or some movement happen really soon. Within like this March 11th, 12th, somewhere in there, we're going to see BTT really start to kind of move a little bit more. And you guys can see this sideways squeeze that's happening. Traditionally, when we start to see these nasty legs like this happen, we see a sideways squeeze, that's a good indication that things will continue in the previous trend. But this thing's taken a beating so far. So with that said, I would definitely expect BTT to come down and at least test this 169 level. What else we got here? So we are at 51 minutes. We'll do one more Algorand. So we'll look at Algo. Okay. So bear with me 1 second here, folks. We're going to just pull up the daily. And so Algo, ooh, look at this. So Algo is testing some support levels right now that it tested last year, May, June, and July. Similarly to some of those other cryptos like ICP, This thing does appear to have some sort of falling wedge to it. So let's just go ahead and look here. I'm looking for any Gartley patterns that might be kind of prevalent. I'm kind of seeing maybe that there was quite possibly some sort of Gartley pattern that played out through here. There might have been something there. But for the most part, let's just look at this here. There we go. You can definitely see how price action is really kind of flirting with this 127 at this 82-cent-ish level. Price is currently trading at 71 cents. So I do think that there is a chance that we might see Algo kind of turn around a little bit, at least come up and hit this 50 moving average. So we got this 50 kind of barreling down like this. So it wouldn't surprise me to maybe see price come back up right to around this 82 cent, 83 cent level, and quite possibly test this 50 moving average somewhere in that neighborhood. But for now, I do think that we're going to see Algo possibly bounce maybe 10% the next week or two. Let's just throw up a little time sequence here to see if anything comes of it. Okay. I mean, you might be able to make the argument that this thing, look for April 5th, April 4th, April 3rd, somewhere in there. We might get some sort of bounce in the meantime, maybe something like this, and we might see price action come up to this 82 cent-ish level around this April 5th level. Otherwise, we might just see price kind of bounce down like this and start working its way back upwards around that April 4th. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Just kind of looking at the comments section here. Looks like Marcos is talking about micro pennies. Okay. I thought he was talking about something else there. But let's just look at Vechain, VET. Here we go. Vechain. I like Vechain. I like the technology. I like what they're trying to do. I've spent a lot of my career trying to combat theft and counterfeiting, stuff like that. So when Vechain has, some of that qualities where they can provide consumers with data that could possibly show chain of custody throughout the manufacturing process to the end user, like that's huge for me. I love that. So right now with Vechain, I'm kind of looking that there could have possibly been some sort of Gartley pattern that formed here. I just really want to see. So right now, this is exactly what I want to see. Is this price action on this right hump come up and hit the 61.8 right in here? And technically, price action could have come all the way up to this level here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then let's throw up another retracement this time. And what I'm looking for here is for price action to come down, pierce through the 61.8, but not go lower than the 786. So we did cut through the 786. I don't trust TradingView's charts the most. So we're just going to roll with this. And then what I'm looking for is a measurement from this point up to this point, basically the B point to the A point. And what I'm looking for down here is the 127 or 161.8 in a Fibonacci retracement. Oh boy. And we are not seeing that. Not at all. Okay. So I don't think we really have much to worry about here. I don't think that this was a valid uh, a valid Gartley pattern. It's late where I'm at, guys. Well, it's 10 p.m. Feels late. I'm getting old. But right now, Vechain, and we're seeing this trend across all the cryptos right now, aren't we? Where we are seeing this symmetrical triangle squeeze happening. We're seeing this 50 way under the 200, guys. I think there's a good chance that we might be gearing up to see the market bounce. To be honest, I think that we might be gearing up to see Vechain even possibly 2.5x from here if the market recovers. So, yeah, definitely. Marcos, yeah. Yeah, we're definitely, definitely sub to Bitcoin Renegade. I want to have him on to just talk about the markets. He's an expert in internet computer. So I definitely want to learn from him on internet computer because he knows his stuff. And I think that really internet computer is one of those cryptocurrencies that's I guess people just don't think about when they think of like solid projects. It's a pretty damn solid project from what I can tell. So yeah, we'll get Bitcoin Renegade on. We'll get Marcos on. It's always good, even if you don't do TA. Everybody can talk about the market, right? And I love to hear everybody's opinions on that too, because different people read different sets of news. Like they just have different gut feelings on what's going on. It is what it is. So, whatever walk of life you're coming from, whether it's TA or just a general connoisseur of crypto, I want you on my channel for sure. With Vechain, let's just say Vechain gets the bounce. There very well could be some sort of descending triangle that is playing out, some sort of longer play that really runs into 2023, 2024, stuff like that. So, how do I pull the chats on the screen like that? I have no idea, dude. I think there's some setting in YouTube. I could try to help you figure it out. But I'm hoping for Vechain here to bounce from this 4-cent level, 4.5-cent level, maybe right up to around this 10, 13-ish cent level in the near future. So let's see. I got to duck out early, but thanks. Yeah, man. Thanks for being here. I do know it's Thursday night. Everybody's had a long week. So thank you for being here. Gas prices taking from my fiat liquidity, mad face. Oh man, yeah, dude. I hear you there. I just, I drive a V8 Tahoe, and I can remember back in the day when gas prices hit $4.50, at least locally. And this was here in Minnesota, roughly 10, 12 years ago. At that time, I was driving a Cadillac with a V8. A Cadillac with a V8? Yeah, I was driving a Cadillac with a V8. Cadillac DeVille. I'm getting another one of those someday. But long story short, I sold that. I didn't do my due diligence on Jeep Wranglers because, hey, in my younger years, I thought they were pretty damn sweet cars, trucks. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, at that time in my life, I was commuting 100 to 120 miles a day. I'm going to buy the Jeep Wrangler. It's going to be the V4, 4-cylinder with a manual transmission. I thought, okay, here we go. I am going to get, amazing gas mileage. Well, that's not the case. um, that thing got like, what was it, like 15 miles to the gallon in the city, 16 on the freeway. And I'm, keep in mind, I'm putting on 100 to 120 miles a day. So roughly 500 miles a week. You guys can do the math on that. 450 a gallon. I mean, half my paycheck was going just to drive to work. So yeah, hopefully everyone isn't impacted by these high gas prices. I do think that it will be short lived for the most part. I don't think that we're going to see gas prices extend. It's going to hurt summer travel, things like that, obviously, but I don't think that it's going to be like a everlasting thing. Because back when gas was $4.50 a gallon, we never thought that we'd see these $1.89, $1.99 prices again. 10 years later, it happened, right? So just remain hopeful. A quid, $60 per liter here in London. So I don't know if that's dollars. A quid. What's a quid? Wonder Dog. 60 a liter. Yeah, man. That sounds expensive. If I had to fill my, I mean, I've spent 80, 90 bucks on my Tahoe just filling it up the other day. So it is what it is, folks. I hope that you guys are all staying safe wherever you guys are at in the world. I know there's a lot of chaos happening, things like that. But it is what it is, right? So we just got to try to tough through it, and the world will prevail. Things will return to normal. COVID's starting to kind of disappear, which is a good thing because everybody's sick of that. Now we got this whole war thing that's really troubling us, and the crypto markets and the financial markets, which have all been overbought dramatically, in my opinion, the last few years. And I'm going to quit rambling. But one of the things I wanted to just kind of touch on here. So when I was up at the North Shore, I was sitting in a hot tub looking out at Lake Superior. The hotel I stayed at had a rooftop hot tub. And I'm sitting in there with a couple old timers, and we're talking about the markets, things like that. One guy just retired, 65, somewhere in there. Other guy was around the same age. One guy told his finance guy, "Hey, I told him to pull all my stocks, blah blah blah." The other guy was still kind of in the markets. And they start talking, S&P 500 and things like that. And then they asked me what I do, and I said, "Well, I study finance for a living, for the most part." And I said, "You guys are talking about investments. Look at the S&P 500 and how this thing has traditionally grown 1% a year on average, 10% every decade. The last 30 years, it's been about an average of 10, 11% per decade that we've seen the S&P 500 grow. And in the last 6 to 8 years, we've seen the S&P 500 grow 30 to 40%. So if that's not telling you guys something, the markets truly are overbought, in my opinion. But at the same time, we have a lot more access to investing, things like that, via our phones. So that plays a big part of it. So just be careful out there, whatever it is you're trading. But I think I'm going to just wrap this up. This is an hour long, plus my drink's kind of running out. We got Crypto Airborne and Marcos probably rubbing rash cream on themselves. So it's not a good situation at this point in the live stream. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful night wherever you're at in the world. And we'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to try to drop a video for you guys tomorrow. So we'll see. But if you guys could all hit that like button on the way out the door right now, I would truly appreciate it. I always truly appreciate it more than you guys can know. So, Marcos, have a safe night, man, and all that. So, it is what it is. I'm not even going to put some of these other comments up here. You guys are going buck ass wild. So, I'll end it right now. Thank you guys for being here. I've enjoyed spending the last hour with you.